tell you, my, what they call it, circadian rhythm is totally off. It's 11:30 at night. Sleep in the day, take naps in the day, then have a little bit of energy, but still feeling tired, of course. And, you know, having bright lights and stuff kind of irritates my eyes. And then I have my puppy right here, because some crazy person's over there shooting off cannons or, I don't know, firearms. So she's freaking out. That's beep, 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 beep. Karma right there. So she's on my lap. So I need to be going to bed. But I was just watching a couple of YouTube videos of the Jarretts and another guy. And I'm also flashing back on some conversations that I've had on Messenger. And I wanted to maybe introduce to some of you who don't read the Bible. Yeah, let's go there, shall we? How do we do this? Let me share screen. We're going to have to take a look at some things, okay? You know, ancient history type of stuffs. You know, these things that are written in the Bible are for our benefit, for us down here at the end. blueletterbible.org. I like to go on this. They have a lot of different translations. Some people really like the King James Version, so I'll just stick it with that. I personally don't like the these and the thous, but maybe they might have something in there that, you know, might be beneficial. So we'll overlook the these and the thous. Genesis 1, we're going to go there because someone that I really like in my group was asking me, what is the difference between globe and flat earth theory? And what does it mean to us? It means something, you guys. I'm hoping that you're able to see this. We're going to go in the beginning. Okay, Bereshit. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God, that's a creator, created the heaven and the earth. So two different places, okay? Genesis 1:2 says, and the earth was right here, without form. Wait a minute. It says the earth was without form. So if it's without form, that means it's without shape. There's nothing in this whole Bible that says globe. And if there's anything that got translated into sphere, it would come from chug, which would be circle. And circle, chug, is actually the circuit. And when you look up circuit, it's in the sky, in the heavens. And that's not earth, okay? So we'll show you this in a second. But I just want you to take a look here. You can read this yourself. So it says, and the earth was without form and void. Okay, that was at that time, it was void. Still didn't change shape though. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. You do know that the ocean and all lakes are flat. That's the face, just like I have a face. Here's my side. Here's the top. Here's the underneath. Here's the face. Okay, so the face, all right? And you guys can go into these toolboxes over here and take a look at them. So I just wanted to show you right here, Genesis 1:6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. You know, the midst, that's like your middle part. The midst of the waters. What waters are you talking about? And let it divide the waters from the waters. What does that mean? Divide the waters from the waters. Are you talking about like the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean? Divide that from that? What are you talking about? Ooh, could be. Let's see It says, and God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. So we're talking about above is up here and below is down here, as above, so below. It's there this way, not that way, but this way. Look here. And God called the firmament heaven. Oh, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, so let's just go over here to the toolbox for a second. So that blue toolbox, you can click on there. And then you gotta look up the word, the firmament, and click on the H77549. Let's see what that says. It says right here, extended rakia, extended surface. Oh, solid, expanse, firmament, expanse, flat as base. What? Expanse, flat as base, support? Huh? Okay. Firmament of vault of heaven. Of a vault. Would it be a vault this way or a vault that way of heaven, supporting waters above? Considered by Hebrews as solid and supporting waters above. Interesting. So we're talking about waters above and waters below. So, I think I can hear I hear some coyotes out there. Here we go. What's it say right here? The firmament of heaven spread out like a hemisphere. There's that word sphere. Hemi. Is it like semi? Hemisphere. Above the earth. So the firmament is above the earth. It's not the earth. Okay? Like a splendid and pellucid sapphire. Ooh. To which the stars, hey, I think my hair is sapphire right now. To which the stars were supposed to be fixed, and over which the Hebrews believed there was a heavenly ocean. Okay. So let's kind of go back to where we were here. Genesis. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I want to show you this one right here. This is Genesis 1:9. And God said, let the waters under the heaven, because there's waters above and waters below. Let the waters under the firmament be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. What does that mean? The dry land appear. Whoa, here's a dry land coming up on top of it. So, and God called the dry land right here, earth. That's where we live, on dry land, earth. And the gathering together of the waters, he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth part bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth, that's the dirt part. You want to see? Let me show you. Let's go to tools. Go to the tools box again. We're going to go down to earth. There it is, H776. That's Hebrew, by the way. H is Hebrew. If it said G, it would be the Greek, and that would be in the New Testament. The Old Testament is all in Hebrew, not Greek. So here is the etymology. Eretz, land, earth, earth. Now, I want you to get that one picture from NASA. out of your head when I say whole earth. I want you to get that out of your head. We're not looking at a globe, okay? The whole earth as opposed to a part of it. You know, because there's a theory about Noah's flood only being in a certain part of the earth. But it's talking about the whole earth, all the land, the whole entire land. Earth as opposed to heaven, two separate things. And then here's another definition. Earth, inhabitants. That's us. We're earthlings, the people who live on the plane of earth. Okay, land, country, territory, district, region, tribal territory, piece of ground, land of Canaan, Israel, inhabitants of land, Sheol, land without return, underworld, city, state, ground surface of the earth, ground, soil, people of the land, like we're earthlings, space or distance of country, level or plain country. That's interesting. Level or plain country. You know, like when you go on an airplane and you look out the window because you get the window seat out there and you look down and you see all these cool squares and it's flat. Or if you go over Colorado and it kind of looks like a cookie, it's raised a little bit. But even at that, it's level. It is not at a 23-degree angle like they taught us in school. You know, the public school system is going to teach you that we are in a globe spinning at 1,030 miles per hour, chasing the sun, and we're at a tilt, Earth's axis. And they're always telling you that because I took 2 astronomy classes. They're like, see, look at the North Pole or the North Star, rather, excuse me. They'll be like, yeah, someday soon, maybe the age of Aquarius, it's going to shift. We're going to have some shift thing. I'm like, no, not going to happen. Anyways, this right here lets you know the earth, it's land, country, earth, field, ground, land, Natan's way, wilderness, world. It is not the ocean or the sea, okay? Earth is not the sky. The sky is the sky, okay? We're talking about earth, dirt, okay? Eretz, that's what we're talking about. So do you see that there's a distinction between in the beginning God created heaven and the earth? He created the land part and he created the heaven part. It says that the earth, the land, H776, Eretz, it was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Well, what happened after that? It says, and God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Yep, and we read this part already about what can grow on the earth. Now look over here, Genesis 1:15. And let them be for, oh, wait, what? And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven. Wait a minute, we're skipping some stuff. Well, let's go back. It went from 12 to 15. That's kind of weird. Okay. It's probably because we're just looking at Eretz. All right, here we go. We're talking about the stars here, people. Look. Here it is right here. It says that, and God said in Genesis 1:14, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. This right here tells us that our Creator has a time sign for us so that we can know what day it is, what time it is. It's not the Gregorian Hallmark calendar that we have up here behind us. It's not that. It's a different way of showing time. It's looking at the signs, which are the lights up in the heavens. That's how we're supposed to be telling time according to our Creator. That Gregorian calendar that we have right there is from Pope Gregory. They changed the times and the seasons, and they gave us names of the days. Sunday for the sun, Monday for the moon, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturn Day. So those are pagan names. They're not, what God says here. It's not in the Bible. No, he gave us numbers. Right here. And God made two great lights. What would those be? The greater light to rule the day. Which one do you think that is? Sun? And the lesser light to rule the night. That one's the moon. And guess what? The moon is a light. It's not a reflector. No, it's not. They teach us in the school and astronomy classes that the moon is a satellite that goes around the earth, which we know that it does travel. Yes. Make up your mind, people, because first they're going to tell you that those are the ones that hold still. And then they're going to say that we're the ones that's spinning around the sun. Oh, wait. Oh, that in the moon spins around the earth and the earth is a globe. Fake? No. We just learned right here. When you looked up at 9, it says that earth was dirt. So it's not a globe. Just letting you know. So we're going to either choose to go with what God says, or we're going to go with what they teach us in the school. What are you going to do? Go with a man and his tradition, or are you going to go with what God says? I'm just saying. So right here, it says, and God set them, what? The two great lights. He set them in the firmament. Oh, wait a minute. It's in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Yeah. It's not way out in space somewhere. It's right here in the firmament of the heaven. And it says, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw it, and it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. That was day 4 that he made the sun, moon, and the stars. It says right here. Oh, by the way, there's no planets. There is no talking about any kind of planets here at all. He's talking about stars right here. See that? Stars. He only made the two great lights, the sun and the moon, and he made the stars. There is no mention of planets. No talking about Jupiter, Mars, or none of that. You know, those cartoons that they show you, that NASA likes to show you. Nazi NASA. I'm just saying. There's only wandering stars. Yeah, and they're the ones that move. We don't move. So I just wanted to show you all this, that you can find it out in Genesis 1. Okay? So that's my little short thing, because I'm getting tired and I need to go to bed now. You can kind of hear my voice. It's sounding a little grovelly. But earth is dirt. It doesn't move. Get jiggy with that. Look up in the sky. There's no landmass up there. And if you can feel, we're not moving. We don't spin around at 1,030 miles per hour. If we did, we'd all be dead. Because I've done my laundry in washing machines before, and I've seen the spin cycle when it's only like, 30 miles per hour? Whoa! And guess what happens to all the clothes? They all stick to the side. And what happens to the water? It drains out. That's what would happen if we're 30, 60 miles an hour. And come on, we got those kind of winds that are already like that. So I'm just saying, you guys, read what the Bible says and ask the Holy Spirit to show you what the truth is. You can choose to believe what man says. Don't just believe me. Look at what the word says. And yeah, it was inspired by the Spirit. And yes, men did write it. And yes, I'm sure that things got mistranslated or translated. But if you go back to the old language and you go back to the tools, you can kind of see what the root words are. Eretz is dirt. Just saying. So my voice is going now. So I shall go to sleep because I know my child, Karma, is right here in my lap.